Assalamu alaikum. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. As I'm talking to you here now, there is no power. There's load shedding, that fancy word that they use for messing up the power supply in the country. Well, we are on stage 6 load shedding, the highest that we've ever been, where half of the day there's no electricity. It's broken up into 3 or 4 stages of cutoffs. But if you add it up, it makes up 12 hours. So now I'm sitting in a 2.5 hour stint of no electricity. I've got to get working on my inverter system so I can have a battery backup and solar power later on to get some free electricity. We're all going to have to do that. We have to. Because it's only going to get worse. It's not going to get better. It's been getting progressively worse for almost 3 decades now because of no maintenance. I mean, can you imagine how that is affecting the whole country? It affects everybody. What about people who are running businesses? They have to switch off, shut down, cut down. People, factories with machinery in they can't run. It's terrible, and it's getting worse. So it's going to affect the economy. People are going to lose jobs. Businesses have already shut down. I mean, we had 2 years of COVID, and now we're sort of recovering from that. I just hope that China doesn't start this COVID stuff all over again now because things are getting out of control in China. It's worse than before. Before, only Beijing and Shanghai were badly affected, but the whole world got affected and we had lockdowns. Now, 6 cities are affected and badly. I saw a news article which said that something like 70% of Shanghai is tested positive over a few months, but 70%, that's a lot. And the Chinese people are still traveling all over the world. Some countries have implemented um, blocks on Chinese travelers, um, but that's not going to work. I mean, the Chinese will still go to other countries and then COVID will start spreading again. And now there's a new variant, Kraken. So, what's that going to do? We've lost so many people. I mean, even here also, I've lost a lot of family and friends to COVID and close friends. And um, it was all as a direct result of getting COVID. Yeah, but what can we do? We can only make dua that we are protected against these things. But I, I honestly believe that it's because of the way that we are living. And, nobody talks about the religious connection of COVID because you're going to be labeled a madman. So nobody would dare. And even if somebody does say something, they're not gonna advertise it or report it or even look at it from that angle. The only thing is you must get all the vaccinations and then sell, sell, sell. That's the way the world is nowadays. And things are not getting better. They're not getting better. In fact, I would easily say that things are getting worse. And it's not because I'm getting old, so that I'm becoming all fatalistic and thinking of dying. Things just weren't the same that they were when we were young. Things are very different. And people talk about a progressive society, but we have we haven't really progressed. Technologically, we have because we all have cars, we all have houses, and we all have all these things in our houses, TVs and computers and these cell phones that I'm talking on right now. We have the internet, and we have e-commerce, and we have Web 3.0, cryptocurrencies. So, in that sense, in the technological sense, things have progressed drastically. But now, what's the point of all that if we don't have electricity? The one thing that all those things need is electricity. And we are busy regressing. And it's not only South Africa, there are a lot of countries in the world that are like that, that is busy going backwards. But yet, everybody's following the Americans in the Western world, the laws and the progressive laws that they are introducing. So there's more crime, and there's more gangsterism, there's more um, problems with security. Do you know that if someone breaks in here right now, I can't do anything to him? I'm the citizen, I'm the taxpayer, I pay rates as well. I own this house. But if somebody who doesn't do any of that breaks in here, I can't touch him. I'm not allowed to touch him. In fact, a government official came on the news and he said that if that person breaks into your house, then there must be something in your house that they want, and you must let them have it. If you do anything to that person, or that person gets hurt because you have burglar bars on your window and he got hurt trying to crowbar the bars off, then you have a problem. You can actually go from trying to break in straight to the police station to go and report you, even if you never touched him. But you put stuff up at your house to protect yourself and your family, and you got hurt from it. What country in the world has laws like that? Isn't the government there to protect its citizens? I'm glad I never voted. I've never ever voted. Under apartheid, I was a disenfranchised person, and I was told, in effect, that I'm not a South African citizen and I couldn't vote. None of us voted. We weren't allowed to vote. I mean, the ANC got onto the voters' roll in 1994. Everybody ran to vote. Everybody went to vote. I didn't, because I knew what was going to happen. And the ANC came to power in a landslide victory because there are just too many black people, and most of the black people, they're uneducated. So they all voted ANC because they're a black party. But ever since they came to power, things have just been getting worse and worse and worse. And not only electricity, with everything else also. Every system in the country is either dysfunctional, has gone bankrupt, is falling apart, or is busy going bankrupt. So the airways went bankrupt, got bought over in very clandestine uh, in conditions, but you don't really hear about it. The railways has gone bankrupt. They don't. Most of the rail is dysfunctional. In fact, there are some routes where there are squatter camps built over the railway lines, right over the railway line. So there's no way a train can run there. The South African Post Office is busy going bankrupt. The harbors are all dysfunctional. The port in Durban, Natal, was the biggest port in southern Africa, not South Africa, in southern Africa. It's not working properly. In fact, you can't even say it's working compared to what it was like before. The roads are all falling apart. There's potholes all over the show. It doesn't get fixed. In some cases, the farmers and the residents of the area, they're fixing the roads themselves because they know it won't get fixed. Schools are in a mess. They're not building schools anymore. And where there's a problem, they just send two or three prefab buildings to be erected in a couple of hours on the school's tarmac somewhere. Primary healthcare, which is the government's responsibility, is also in a mess. It's a terrible situation. And everywhere, doesn't matter where you go, they made law to have a certain number of each race group, and obviously blacks are in the majority, must be employed. So the companies must get their numbers right. And now nobody's working. You hardly see anywhere. Walk into any private hospital in South Africa and you'll see what I mean. It's really, things are really going from bad to worse. So we brought all of this down on ourselves. Those of you who voted, this is what you voted for. And now no one is saying anything, but everybody's complaining. But the ones who are complaining are the ones who voted for this. So you voted for something that you're now complaining about. Strange. Maybe the brain drain has caused people with any grey matter to leave, and only stupid people are here, including me. Salam alaikum.